Hi everyone, Wilbur here. In this video I want to talk about technological content knowledge, or what's called TCK in the TPACK framework. So what is technological content knowledge? It's essentially the intersection between technology and the content. So it's an understanding of how technology and content influence and constrain one another. So Mishra and Kohler are two of the biggest researchers in TPACK. And they described this definition in 2009. So essentially TCK is about how technology is used with the content, right? So if I'm a film teacher, I have to teach my students how to edit film. If I'm a science teacher, I can use animations to describe certain bits of science. So it's using technology with the content specifically. So examples of TCK: maths teachers must know how to use calculators. Fairly obvious. Film teachers must know how to use camera edit film. Geography teachers nowadays should know how to use Google Earth. Science teachers may create digital animations to explain abstract concepts. Now, one important note is that within TPACK, one of the key differences between primary and secondary, and it's not that straight, like obviously a grade 5 or 6 teacher would be similar to a grade 7 or 8 teacher in this respect. But one key difference is that primary teachers need more breadth of TCK knowledge, whereas secondary teachers need more depth. So a primary teacher might need to know, the basics of using a scientific calculator, the basics of teaching students how to use PowerPoint, how to use Google Earth, all that type of thing, whereas a secondary teacher will need more depth. So a secondary maths teacher might need to know how to use a scientific calculator in more detail, might need to know how to use a graphing calculator or graphing software, or even like a maths-based coding language, something like R or MATLAB or something like that. So how can we improve TCK? There's a few ways. So first and obviously, specifically improving both content knowledge and technology knowledge independently will have some indirect effect, right? So if I'm a maths teacher and I improve my math skills, then chances are that the technologies I already know how to use, like a scientific calculator, I'll be better at using. Same thing the other way around. So if I improve my general technology knowledge, I'll tend to also improve indirectly my TCK. So if I improve, for example, my ability to code in a higher programming language, then chances are when I want to go and use a graphing calculator, learning it's much more easier, right? Or I can get much more in depth with how I learn it and how I use it. Peer-to-peer sharing. So most of the time this is, informal discussions in staff rooms and things like that, where one teacher will say, oh, check it out, I used this in this way. And then the other teacher will say, oh yeah, I have similar ideas. So one teacher might have recorded their screen, used Screencastify or something like that. Actually, that's TPK. I'll leave that for the next video. But one teacher might have used a drone technology, right, in humanities to map a certain bit of land or something like that, and then they'll let the other humanities teacher know, and that'll give them an idea about how drone technologies can be used within their subject area. Staying up to date on current research in one's field. This is important because in most fields now, a lot of the disruptions in that field tend to be research into new tools within that field. So say in physics, for example, it might be new telescopes, new software that can analyze telescopic vision, or that can simulate certain behaviors and things like that. So they tend to be new tools, and if you stay up to date, you may have a better knowledge of how those tools are used within a specific subject area. And just experimenting with new subject-specific technologies. So I'm an English teacher and there's this new writing software. I may not use it in class, but I'll just go play around with it and see what it can do. And just that sort of thing over time tends to build TCK. So that's all for this video on TCK. I hope it was of help.